Hey everybody, Sean Grisp here with Mid-Ski Patrol tips of the day. Today we're going to be going over O2 tank regulator, how to attach and detach the regulator from the O2 tank right down here. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do when I approach the O2 tank is I see that it is medical. It is an O2 tank, it's painted green, and it's medical oxygen, not industrial. Industrial is going to have a different valve stem up here. I'm going to stand the tank up for safety. It's in an appropriate stand here, so often in the clinic it will be standing up against the wall. But if it's just a tank by itself, you're always going to have it laying down until you're going to be using it. So I'm going to look over the tank. I'm going to look for cracks. I'm going to listen to see if it's leaking or not, and it's not leaking. Okay, looks like we have a healthy tank. Okay, these are the wrenches that we can use. A couple examples. There are different wrenches that we can use to crack the tank. They do the same thing. Okay, so first step, I'm going to choose this wrench today. I'm going to stand off to the side of the tank, and I'm going to crack the tank to blow out any debris or dust that may be in the valve stem. Okay, so we've cleared the valve there. Notice that I only have to turn it not even a quarter of a turn to get air. Quarter turn is going to give me full flow. Okay, so we've cleared that. Okay, so now we're going to pick up our regulator. So a little introduction to the regulator here. What we're going to inspect, we're going to inspect this O-ring in here. I'm going to pop it right out. This is the O-ring. This is what creates the seal on the tank stem. Get you a good seal for your oxygen so there's not extra gas leaking out around the regulator. Notice these two prongs here. These two prongs are what fit into these two holes on the stem, okay? Here we have our pressure gauge. So this shows PSI, and when we charge the regulator with O2, it's going to tell us how full the tank is. Okay, and that needle is going to drop as we use oxygen. Over here we have our flow gauge here, our flow adjuster. This is liters per minute of oxygen, and as we turn it, you can see 0, 0.5, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 liters per minute. For high flow, such as a non-rebreather mask, we're going to go right up to, say, 15, maybe 10, but probably 15. And for a nasal cannula, we're going to be down here in the 4 range. Okay, so we've cracked our tank, we've cleared debris. I'm going to come down here and just slide the regulator onto the stem. Notice how I'm going to snug this vise right in there, but I'm not using all my strength. Just make sure it's good and tight. Okay, so I've got the regulator on the tank. I'm going to crack it. You're going to see when I crack it, you're going to see this needle shoot right up and show us our PSI. Okay, see that? So it's showing us that we have about 1,500 PSI. So that's a good healthy tank there. Okay, so now we've got a charged regulator. Whenever that needle is anything but down at the bottom, it means you have a charged regulator, and it's not safe to remove the regulator until you clear that residual O2. Okay, so now I'm going to adjust my flow over here, make sure I get good flow. And what I would do at this point, that I've cleared the regulator, I would put on whatever airway administrative device I'm going to be using. We'll say a non-rebreather mask. I'm going to slide it right into here, right onto here, and then turn on my flow to the desired flow, and then put the mask on the patient. You don't ever want to put a dry mask, so a non-flowing mask on a patient, and then turn on the oxygen. All right, so we've attached the regulator. Everything seems to be working well. I don't hear any leaks. That's another test you're going to do when you put it on there, is make sure it's not leaking. If you did hear an oxygen leak, you would just valve the tank back off, readjust, make sure your regulator is aligned, recheck the O-ring, and then go for round 2. Try to make sure you get a good seal. Okay, so we're all done. I'm going to valve off the O2. Okay. Remember, I only opened it a quarter of turn, so if you're closing it and you're turning it and turning it and turning it and turning it, it means you're turning it the wrong way. So you should only have to turn it a quarter of turn to close it after you've opened it. Okay, I'm going to bleed out the residual O2. You'll see this needle drop. Okay, now the entire system is decharged, not pressurized, and it's safe to take the regulator off. Slide it off, set it off to the side, and slide our O2 back on the ground. Thanks a lot, everyone.